Hello and welcome to BLW. Today we're going to be taking a look at and doing a review of the LEGO Ideas Lighthouse. Now this is my first LEGO Ideas set ever, and also my first LEGO set that is technically only suited for adults. So I do believe that they recommend that you are over the age of 18 to put this together, although I really can't see why a teenager or someone couldn't put this together. So first, let's talk about this set. So this set has over 2,000 pieces in it. It currently costs about $300. The set does come with two minifigures. One is going to be the lighthouse operator that we see here, and the other is a woman who comes with this rowboat. I do actually not have her over here on this main set right now. You also do get a seagull, and you may notice mine has a little Minecraft frog hanging out with the lighthouse operator. The Minecraft frog is obviously not part of this set, but I just felt like I should make sure you guys know that. So this set is pretty massive. Like I said, it's over 2,000 pieces, and since it's a lighthouse, it does just have a tower that goes straight up. And I have to say, I really like this set, and I'm really impressed by it. Now, there are lots of details on this set, such as the rocks and what I can only assume are supposed to be kind of like waves or the water lapping up, stuff like that. And that's all really cool and impressive to me. And I have to say that putting this thing together was a really fun time, and because of how big it was and because I was only working on it after work, it did take me quite a while. There are, I believe, 13 different numbered bags. However, some of them, so I believe number 3 was actually 2 different bags. So some of them, even though they count all the way up to 13, some of them have multiple of the same number. Now, it does come on this nice huge base plate. My only thing that I would say about this base plate is it is incredibly thin for the price, and I did have to carry this up and down the stairs a few times, and I was a bit worried that maybe something would snap off. Now, you do also get this rowboat with oars. As you can see, you get to build little seats in here, but there's really no way to keep the oars on the sides because they don't fit right on the sides. And maybe I'm just missing a piece or something, but I didn't see anything about that in there. Now, there is actually a warning in the instructions that says the boat does not float, but I had to test it out myself, and I got the boat to float just fine. So then looking around, we have the rock that the lighthouse is on. Over here in the side, we have a little cave that has a treasure chest. And this chest is actually filled with various gems of different colors that they include in the set. They include a lot of different colors. I believe there was a clear, a yellow, a blue. But I had an abundance of red gems, so I just kind of swapped out all my red gems and put them in there. But the way this is set up, you're not really gonna be looking at it all too much. Now if we go around to the back here, we do have the back of the lighthouse, and you may notice that we have this part that looks different from the rest, and that's because this is where the battery box goes. That's right, if you didn't already know somehow, this lighthouse actually works, and I will show you guys it working towards the end of the video. So this is the battery box that goes into the motor. Now there is a little door that can be put on here, so you see, even less of the batteries. But that door comes off only with screws, and they're pretty small screws. So I figured I'd just leave it exposed and just put the fake rock that they give you in the way. Now, honestly, if I'm being honest, my probably biggest complaint about this is that this box isn't like rechargeable. It feels like something like this should be rechargeable, you know, in 2023, or also just the ability to have this so it can be permanently plugged in if you wanted to keep it on. But I will say I haven't ran out of the batteries yet. Those were actually just the temporary batteries I put in, and I got rechargeable batteries just for the Lighthouse, but I haven't even had to use them yet. You can see lots of little details. This right here is the only exposed wire in the whole thing. So, and it's in the back, so really if you're like me and you're just putting this on display, you're not going to notice it. So, to go around, you can see some more details and stuff. And you can see our little seagull friend. You can also see there's an anchor on the side here. Now, one thing I will say is that when you build the set up, there is actually seagull poop that they tell you to put on various parts of the landscape and stuff. I decided not to do that because it doesn't match the vibe that I want with the Lighthouse. But you know, that is completely up to you. So now, let's go ahead and take a look inside the living quarters here. The roof here just easily snaps off. And you can see we actually got some pretty good detail in here. So we have a picture of the Lighthouse, and if I do remember correctly, this little sticker here is actually based off of the family of the guy who came up with the idea for this set. We have candlelight, we have an entrance to the lighthouse, a teacup, a treasure map, and we have the stove with some tea. And if we just go down here in the cave, there's actually a switch, and that turns on the lighthouse and the stove down here. So that's a great little attention to detail there on Lego's part. We'll go ahead and turn that off for now, and we'll put the roof back on. Now for the lighthouse, you can also go ahead and take part of it apart. So we're going to slowly move this to the back so we don't break anything. And then you'll actually be able to see that every little section has a piece that comes off. You know, this one has a painting in it. Let me go ahead and put that back on. And we'll take off the one below if I can get it off. Or the one on the very bottom if I can get it off. This is kind of hard to do one-handed. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and not take them all off just because it's a bit hard one-handed. But basically they all have ladders that lead up to the top here. And let me go ahead and turn this back around as we talk about the top. So the top of the lighthouse is what you would expect. So we actually use some garage door roller pieces here to create a circle for the lighthouse tower with the light in it. Now, these pieces here are a bendable plastic piece that make the little ring around it. I'm gonna be honest, they were a bit difficult to get positioned correctly. They would fall out a few times, but since they've been in, I've had no issues. And then we have a very small walkway up here. Now it's very small up there. You can fit the minifigure up there, but odds are he might slip off because they did make it smooth all through up here. And then just again to show you, in here where you have the treasure chest is where your switch is gonna be. Then if you turn it on, it does light up and spin. Now there's actually, I believe, 2 pages in the instruction booklet about how they designed this lens, and it's really fascinating because this is the same exact type of lens that would have been used in a lighthouse, and they went through several different prototypes to make it for Lego, which is really cool. Now the motor does have a sound, but it's very minimal, and especially like in my room where I always have a fan going, I really can't hear it most of the time. My only big thing is, I wish that the LED light in this was brighter. So you had more of that lighthouse sweeping effect. Now, something that other people have pointed out online is that they wish the lighthouse had more color to it. So if you've seen a lighthouse, a lot of them will be one layer black, one layer white, or one layer red, one layer white, or even, the stripes that go up the side all around. And, I can definitely agree with that. It is something that I feel like would have been great to have added in. And I have seen people who have done a little MOC on their own where they have replaced it so, every other panel is a different color, and that's really cool. But I honestly still can't complain with how this set is. Now, normally when I review a Lego set, I will tell you, what I think the number is on a scale of 10, and whether or not I think it's worth buying. For this one, I really don't think I can do that, because this is going to entirely depend on who you are and what you want. Because this is not your normal run-of-the-mill $20 to even $50 Lego set. This is a $300 Lego set. This is something that is going to take you a while to put together and involves moving parts, Lego mechanic stuff. So you really need to think about if this is something you want. I am super glad that I got mine, and now that I have it on display. Now, sadly, because it's so big, it can only fit on my mini fridge right now. But for me, this was definitely worth it. Now, whether or not it's worth it for you is definitely up to you. I know some people were complaining that the brick value compared to set value was a bit off. But for me, I've always loved lighthouses. And I saw this in the Lego store. And once I saw it and actually saw it in action, I knew I needed to get it. So this has been my miniature overlook / review of Lego Ideas Lighthouse. Once again, this set contains over 2,000 pieces and costs around $300. Thank you guys for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time with a brand new video.